Hey everyone, welcome back to another Citrico Central Live. I'm George, the Disney Italiano. Welcome in, everyone. Again, just doing another live just because that's all. That there's no rhyme or reason. I just like doing these lives. I love talking with everybody, answering questions, going back and forth with in-depths of questions, comments, concerns, opinions, all that good jazz. But right now we got Mr. Jacob Weller in the house. I got my babe Abby, and we got Remy D, yo back Remy D. So yeah, again, no particular, just wanted to jump on and see who can jump on with me, have a conversation or two. But yeah, not really too much going on in the parks right now. It's just kind of low key, just kind of getting through the summer. With Disneyland, of course, the 70th birthday of Disneyland is almost upon us. That means we'll be getting the grand reveal of the Walt Disney audio animatronic. That day is going to be crazy. I'm telling you right now. That I was on because I had booked a room down in the Anaheim area for me and Abby, and a lot of the rooms are booked out. And the rooms that are available are basically very expensive, between like 250 to 400 a night. Like that to me is crazy. Um, but that just goes to show that Disneyland's 70th, not the 70th event, but the 70th actual birthday is a big deal, especially for the locals. They hold the special birthday cavalcade, and they sing happy birthday to Disneyland with the Fab Five on Main Street and everything. And then of course everyone is going to be lining up early to try to get a glimpse of the Walt Disney audio animatronic. So we have the Giant Peter show in the house. Nice. Welcome in, Peter. Watching while building a robot for my brother. Oh, that's nice of you. Awesome. Doing two things at once, getting that multitasking. So that's gonna be, and then we got Sam Chat in the house. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday night. But yeah, so yeah, I definitely can't wait for Disneyland's 70th, and then down at Walt Disney World, a lot going on. I mean, July 6th will be the final day for Tom Sawyer Island and Rivers of America. Then they can start, the first phase for Cars, and then eventually Villains. They're already underway with Tropical Americas and Monsters Inc. The Starlight Parade will be premiering July 20th, I think it is. So just a lot going on. And then the Beak and Barrel pirate bar thing that's going in Adventureland, that'll be this coming year. Dinosaur will be closing at the end of the year. It's going extinct permanently. Rock and Roller Coaster will probably be closing down for the refurb, to transition from Aerosmith to the Muppets around the same time, but it's all going to be within that same year. That when Rockin' goes down, the Muppets will come up in 2026. So yes, a lot of substantial stuff, but just not like, of course, it's just all kind of like in the quiet, hush hush, right now. But yeah, it's just kind of like waiting and seeing, And as I said, and I enjoy doing these lives in the meantime, while nothing really is, going on, nothing really to report. Eventually we're going to go back out to the parks. OG and I will be doing a walk and talk in DCA whenever we get the chance, for like the Coco and the Avatar placements and everything. That'll be fun. As I said, I'll be there for Disneyland's actual 70th and the Walt animatronic. I'm going to do a recording, and I'm going to try to go live. I'm going to do both. And then going to make it back out for the mega movie summer little things at Universal. So, and then also too, on a regular park day, we're going to do a live of you guys trying to find, where's Abby. So I'm going to stick her somewhere in the park, and and it's going to be up to you guys to try to find her. So yeah, and speaking of which, we got Orange Grove 55 in the house. I miss the walk and talks. Absolutely. We definitely have to do one, especially the walk and talk that we did at DCA. I think it was like right when I started the channel. It's one of the most popular viewed videos. I think it's like the top 3. So definitely can't wait to get back on the field and do that for sure, especially now that we have clarification of like where Coco and Avatar go. And even though technically we already knew, but you still don't know until Disney actually like officially gives you that word. Let's see. Jacob Weller says, you think Avatar 3 going to promote their trailer soon? You think they could introduce some new weapons for the Ash people? Absolutely. I think the trailer should be dropping. I don't want to say any day, but I would think that if it's going to be coming out by the end of this year, I would think maybe by the end of summer, maybe beginning of fall, that we should be getting like an official trailer, or at least maybe prior to that, maybe a teaser or something. As far as like, yeah, I think in there we'll probably see like more in depth of like the Ash people and like their attire and their weapons and what they're all about. That's going to be really cool. Let's see. Giant Peter Show also had a great day at the gym and threw out some old things at my house. Yeah, well, you know what? That's a very progressive day that you're having, Peter. So get that stuff done. Take care of the business. Let's see. Jacob Weller, you think Creature going to be here next year at Universal? They could do something with the Black Lagoon. Yeah, I mean, obviously we talked about this before, but Creature of the Black Lagoon was originally part of the opening with Dark Universe, but I guess it just didn't make the cut right now. I guess maybe because they didn't know like the demand for the monsters, but they do have an expansion pad there. So they said they're already in talks for expanding, but I think the first part of there's like a blocked area that's adjacent to Super Nintendo World. So I have a feeling the first phase of the new expansion is going to be something with Super Nintendo, and I think I'm going to guess it's probably going to be Luigi's Mansion. There was a lot of rumors or talks. It may be Zelda, but I think they're going to want to do Zelda on a much more bigger, grander scale, which, by the way, did any of you hear that they're actually going to start casting for Zelda? They're looking for Zelda and Link between the ages of, what was it, like 19 to 23 or 25 or something like that. So yeah, they're casting for the main characters for the Zelda live action. So I think they will eventually put in Zelda, but I think that they'll wait until it gets a little bit more closer to production time for Zelda, or at least till we get like a trailer, so it kind of ties in with the cross promotion. But as far as for the Creature from the Black Lagoon, Jacob, I do think in time that will be added to Dark Universe, especially because if they make it a water-based ride, and I know a lot of people how they feel about water rides, I get it, but I'm sorry, when you're in Florida, you want to get wet. And they have the water ride. What was it? Fires Drill at the Isle of Burke. But to me, that's not enough for me. I think they need to have another substantial water ride. But the reason why they may not do that is because everyone that would want to experience the Creature from the Black Lagoon, but they don't want to get wet, so it's kind of like a, but I say too bad. So let's see. Dragon Blood. I might sound crazy for saying this, but I am optimistic and excited for everything coming to the Disney parks and the Universal parks worldwide. I personally think they will all deliver. I agree with you. And as I said, we talked about this many times here on this channel on Orange Grove 55. And as our buddy Slimer always says, this is the best time to be a theme park enthusiast. It's like, you can have your favorite, I'm Disney biased first and foremost all the way through. I will admit that, but I do love Universal. I do root for them too. I want them both to succeed because when they win, we all win, So, I mean, with everything that's going on in the theme park industry and the cruise line industry, this is like the best time. I mean, and especially with Universal, they're getting the park in the UK. They're also getting the Universal Kids Park in Texas, which I think looks really cute. I was watching Bricky. I did a replay of his live, and he was kind of going through the architectural designs of the Universal Kids Park. It was very interesting. If any of you have time to watch his playback on his live, definitely check it out because he goes into like how the design of the park and how it structurally, complements each land, complements each other and everything. It's really good, but don't check that out. Stay on here first, then you can go check it out. So, but yeah, so it's gonna be a good time for us theme park fans. Absolutely. Let's see. Where are we? Dragon Blood. When I'm at the parks next year, we got to do a walk and talk vid. That would be fun. Absolutely. Yes, we will definitely do that. And actually, D23 will also be out as well. Now, Dragon Blood, I know that you said you were going to try to come out. I don't know. I thought you said that either it wasn't going to work out or you changed your mind or what have you. But I mean, if you could make it out to D23, that's awesome as well. See, Giant Peter show. Also, we need the MILF video. Make that a walk. Oh my gosh. Yes, but here's the thing. I don't know how much that would do well with a walk and talk. But you guys will get that video. That'll be on Orange Grove 55's channel. We'll save that for our members only. So if you guys are already a member of on Orange Grove 55, we greatly appreciate it and we thank you. And you will definitely get that. If you're not a member, maybe highly consider it because this is the kind of content you will get. And Sam chat, let's see, pumped for Incredibles 3. It sounds like Peter Sohn was mentored by Brad Bird in the same way Lasseter mentored Lee Unkrich, the Toy Story 3 director. Toy Story 3 still feels like a Lasseter product. Yeah, so here's the thing. When I when I heard the announcement at D23, just like with everybody else, like the crowd went nuts. I went nuts. I absolutely love The Incredibles. I wasn't a fan of The Incredibles 2. It's kind of on my lower tiered list for the Pixar films, which is actually funny because I was messaging Epic Berserker today and we kind of exchanged our Pixar lists of like where our top tier to our lower tier is because we both ended up seeing Elio. So that's how we got onto the subject matter, which I will be doing a separate recording for Citrico Central talking about Elio and where I feel like his placement in the parks could be, where it would be. So definitely I will be releasing that. Check that out. If you aren't subscribed to Citrico Central, please feel free to do so and then hit that notification bell so you will get notified when every time a video gets released. But in any case, so we were kind of doing that. But as far as with The Incredibles 3, I have high hopes. I was a little bit apprehensive with Peter Sohn taking the director's helm, not because he's not a good director. I think he absolutely hit it out of the ballpark with Elemental. I loved him portraying Emile in Ratatouille, and he did what he could do for The Good Dinosaur. It is what it is. But I loved his background story of like with his family and how he came to Pixar and everything. So I have very high respect for Peter Sohn. I just didn't know like how I felt in the moment because The Incredibles is Brad Bird's baby, and it's like that was his creation. That wasn't even a Pixar thing. He got invited to the studio by John Lasseter because Brad was essentially going to do it in cell animation or 2D animation. And John at the time, because they were in fear of repeating themselves, that they wanted to do something a little bit more different, he invited Brad and said, you know what, I think this could really do well in computer animation. So Brad Bird brought his team on from working on the Iron Giant. They worked with the Pixar team, and it essentially became a Pixar film. So that's why I was kind of hesitant. But yeah, with Peter Sohn, with Brad Bird being Peter Sohn's mentor and everything. So, and Brad Bird's still heavy on the project. He's producing it. He's writing it. We will definitely, I will definitely give him a chance to see what he can do with it for sure. Let's see. Remy D says, do you happen to buy your glasses from Zenny perhaps? Looks very much like mine. No, actually, Remy D, my glasses I got from my my eye doctor's actually in Pennsylvania before I came out here. It's called Pearl Vision. And so I got them. These are actually my old ones. I actually got my new ones from my new prescription. I just didn't, I have to still get them adjusted and put them on. Yeah. So these are my old ones actually, which actually I love how like it doesn't have like the full border. I kind of like where you can't really see, like you could see someone's wearing glasses, but it's not like, you can actually see the shape of the glasses. But here's the thing. I've worn glasses like that, and it's not like a bad thing. I just got used to not having the bottoms. Now, OG's glasses fit him. Like that's his like signature trademark, It's his glasses and his hair, Let's see. Sam Chat. Legend of Zelda. Let's see. Is my favorite video game ever. So pumped for the movie. A lot of people enjoy Zelda. I was never a Zelda like video game player. I mean, I knew of it. I watched a few of my friends play it, but I just never really resonated with me. However, I did play Link. Link was my favorite character playing on Super Smash Brothers. I don't know why. I always played Link. And I am very excited for the movie. I think if it has that kind of lore of like how they have like Lord of the Rings tied with How to Train Your Dragon, I think it'll do very well for sure. Let's see. Remy D, I'm hoping the whole lagoon ride is fully enclosed with lots of special effects. That would be cool. Yeah, absolutely. And then we have hello 321. Welcome in Italiano. What is that chirp in the background? Fire alarm sensor. Yeah, it's one of the fire detectors. So I do apologize. For some reason, it gets changed out and then it goes off again. So I don't know why it does that. So I do apologize if you guys hear that. Let's see. Remy D, call me crazy, but I think the Universal Kids Park has a better layout than Epic does to all the nooks and crannies. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to wait and see because eventually I wouldn't mind checking out the kids park. I mean, obviously it's not going to be like with a lot of thrills and everything. So it's going to be geared towards like kids and their families and what have you. But I wouldn't mind checking out. I will agree with you that the layout is really cool. I do enjoy the layout very much. So we'll see how it actually looks in okay, yeah, I really got to take care of that. That thing is annoying. Like someone got to like put it out of its misery. Like take a mallet to it or something. Let's see. Matthew Murr, all the way from the UK. I propose a new list of Disney legends. Christopher Daniel Barnes as the main voice of both Prince Charming and Prince Eric, along with Spider-Man in the animated series from the 90s. Interesting. Let's see. Jennifer Hale as the main voice of Cinderella and Dory, along with Jean Grey and X-Men, and Susan Egan as the main voice of Megara. Let's see. And finally, Tamora Morrison from his Star Wars role and the voice of Moana's father. Let's see. That's a pretty lengthy list for me. Out of that list, Matthew, I would definitely agree with Susan Egan. I think her contributions to many different array roles of the company, like starting out with her being the original Belle from the Broadway Beauty and the Beast, doing the voice of Meg. Again, I'm dating myself, but she also played Mrs. Bartlett in the Disney Channel original movie, Gotta Kick It Up. It was a DCOM, or as a Disney Channel original movie. And she still does things with the company. You know, she's been to many D23 events. She actually appeared at 90s Night. She said hi to Abby as Abby was going into the bathroom. Abby didn't know who it was. And I'm like, you said hi to Susan Egan. And it's like, all the times I walk up with you to the bathroom, and the one time I don't, Susan Egan comes out. It's like, come on. Ah, man. Let's see. Dragon Blood. Like, honestly, in my opinion, they both are going big and bold with all of this stuff. I'm going to eat good. I have to, I have to be. Let's see. Villains Land, Pandora, and the UK Park are my top 3. Awesome. Yeah, the UK Park is definitely going to be very interesting, because even that layout, like to Remy D's point of how like the kids park, I'm starting to see like a pattern with Universal that, aside from Epic, because yeah, Epic has like the portals, and I get what they were trying to do with that. But I can see like with the Universal Kids Park and then the UK Park, of how it has like this kind of strategic layout of how it kind of interfuses like one land into the other. And I love how they use like a color palette. Like if you guys look at the Universal Kids Park, it's like pink for Trolls, green for Shrek, blue for SpongeBob, like an orangish for Puss in Boots. I think that's what, I think that's what it is. But yeah, so like that. Then hello, 231. All good, brother. Love the content. Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see. And then I just got a notification from X that Zendaya is officially returning for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yeah, was it official? I thought it was already officially announced a few days ago, but maybe not for her. Maybe it was for something else, but I did read something on that. Dragon Blood. Let's see. I'm still going to try to do my best to get out to D23 2026. I shall see how that's going to turn out. If not, I'm still going to the parks. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see. Rest in peace to George's ear. He looks so frustrated. Yeah, I'm good. Here's the thing. Like, it wasn't going off like all day. I don't know why it's like doing that now. As soon as I hit like record, that's usually how it always goes. Like, it's like dead silence. The second I hit record or I go live, like everything just starts going. You hear like the mower of like someone like mowing the lawn outside, alarms going off, doors opening. It's like, oh my God. Let's see. Sam says to Matthew Murr, I think Jim Cummings should also be a Disney legend. Yeah, he's another one for sure. Let's see. Where are we here? Here we go. Remy D to Dragon Blood. Yeah, as a theme park fan for both parks, it's a great time. New attractions every year for the next 5 years. And then also, too, like within the next 5 years, after the next 5 years, especially with Disney, because it's that 10-year promise, that they were going to do. So a lot of people are saying that if we think that these announcements were big and bold, they said the second half is going to be possibly even bigger. And then Universal's going to want to keep up on their toes with that as well, because they already made the announcement for the expansion of Epic Universe, plus also at Universal, the Studios Park in Florida, at Islands of Adventure, and also even over here at Universal Studios Hollywood. So it's, I cannot wait. Let's see. Honestly, I'm going to say this 20 plus years. Yeah, I mean, again, even the Disneyland Forward, I mean, that's like a 30, 40-year project that, how it's going to be completed, we'll have to wait and see. I'd probably, by the time Disneyland Forward of like its full conception, like they said, between 30 and 40 years, that would make me about 75 years old by the time. So with God's will, if I'm still around, hopefully I am. And if I am, that I'm in good condition. I hope that I'm in like a healthy 75, where I could still, do stuff and recognize stuff, be active, physically, mentally, all that good stuff. Giant Peter show. Let's see. Honestly, Universal UK is the most hyped project. I'm even more hyped for that than Epic due to its potential with the IPs. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely understand it, especially with Back to the Future. I mean, the fact that Back to the Future is coming back in a big way, and if that's where it starts with the UK park to hopefully eventually bring Back to the Future back to the domestic parks, so be it. I'm all for it. Let's see. Sam Chat, do you think Disney could build another Marvel land at Disneyland Resort that isn't near Avengers Campus, such as Fantastic Four mini area at Tomorrowland or Wakanda Land near the Symbolot is? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think, especially for how big Marvel is, I feel like that's just the first wave of Marvel that it gives like it's for a campus. I don't see the campus being like the full like headliner for everything that's Marvel. I feel like that's just like one piece of the pie, so to speak, that the campus is just going to hold like between for like Mission Breakout and Web Slingers and then Infinity Defense and Stark Flight Lab, Pim's Test Kitchen, like all that stuff. But I feel like Fantastic Four is already going into Tomorrowland with the meet and greets. I feel like that they'll have a permanent spot once Disney sees those numbers, which I think are going to be very high for Fantastic Four. I've seen a lot of kind of like survey voting online, and Fantastic Four is still like one of the most anticipated movies of the summer. I think it's going to be the top summer blockbuster. Even ticket sales, already exceeded expectations. I already got me and Abby ours because I'm a AMC A-lister. So basically, I get 3 movies free a week, and I just pay for Abby's ticket. And then by me paying for her ticket, I also get points, so I get coupons. It's like $27 or $28 a month. I highly recommend it to anyone who definitely goes to the movies a lot. Definitely think about becoming a AMC A-lister for sure. Because I've seen How to Train Your Dragon free. I've seen Elio free, and now soon to see Fantastic Four free. Even though it's a monthly thing, but I mean, like when you add all those 3 movies a week, that's 12 movies a month for $27, $28 a month. I'm sorry, that's a steal. And we have Alan O in the house. I love the shirt. Do you watch TFC? Can Alan O, can you reiterate like what's TFC? I probably know it, but it's just not coming to me. But also for the shirt, Abby got this for me. So married to a Filipina. She's my daily sunshine and my occasional typhoon. Abby got that for me. So, but we're not officially married yet. We're still engaged. But of course, I'm still, wearing it loud and proud. Our wedding will be in 2028. So we're still, getting all that together and, making up our guest list and everything, and it's gonna be great. Occasional typhoon, what does that mean? I actually really don't know. I mean, I guess more so like well, typhoons are big. I was gonna say like small but mighty, but I really don't know. I have to ask Abby that. Maybe there's like some sort of like Filipino connection there. That's interesting. Yeah, now that you mention it, OG, now you got me curious. Oh, Alan, no, let's see. It's a Filipino network. My grandmother and parents watch it daily. Oh, okay. I'll have to ask Abby about that. I don't know because, as I said, she's the Filipino. I'm the Italiano, so it's like, um, yeah, I'm for sure she probably heard of it. I'll have to check that out. And thank you so much, Alano. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see here. Jacob Weller, you think Tom Holland and Zendaya being married to each other will affect them working together? I don't think so. I think they have a very strong relationship. I hope it doesn't. Um, I mean, he's caught with sticking it in her spider web, so and she's used to going on his on the set, so it's a win-win. They both get caught up in each other's spider webs. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Remy D. Disneyland third gate, World of Marvel, Disney World fifth gate, World of Star Wars, easy money. That would be. My thing is they have lots of issues with Star Wars just as a land, as a park. I mean, I think if you can get away with Star Wars as a full park, they would have to literally go out of the realm and not just stick to one planet, one storyline. Add in Hoth, add in Tatooine, add in all the other planets, and then I could see that actually working. But for the longest time, I always thought the villains were actually going to get their very own park, but being that they're getting their land in Magic Kingdom, that's not going to work. As far as a fifth gate for Walt Disney World, as I said, down the road, I don't know exactly what that would be, but they're definitely not ready for a fifth gate. Disneyland, yes, I would say Disneyland could actually do with a third gate probably even now. I would say, I take that back. I would say Disneyland is fine right now. Maybe tweak some things here or there, work on Tomorrowland, add in a few other things. DCA needs a full park expansion and then work on park number 3 at Disneyland. Remy D says 3 movies a week. I can reserve 4 movies with my A-list. Is California getting host? Well, here's the thing. Like, it says 3 movies a week, and I don't know. Like, I can still like book ahead of time. Like, I guess maybe if it falls under a different week, but yeah, as far as I know, with the A-list, it said I thought it was 3 movies a week. Unless I'm wrong. I thought maybe I read it wrong, but I think it said 3 movies a week. But then again, I don't know if it is different in different states. That's interesting. I'll have to look at that. Mr. Tech Bear, heading to Epic tomorrow. Well, have fun, Kev. Definitely, you'll enjoy. Is this? If I forget, remind me. Is this your first time at Epic, or is this your second? I know we were talking about it when we were at Disneyland, but I can't remember if this is going to be your first time. But either way, you'll have fun, definitely. I really hope Avengers Doomsday is a good movie. I hope it doesn't feel discombobulated, since the original plan was Kang Dynasty, not Doctor Doom. Yeah, and I think that's why they're taking their time with it. I think they really want to make it work. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it got, pushed back and everything. It's like, let the Russo brothers cook. They know what they're doing. They've done this before. And the fact that they are coming in to something that was supposed to be one thing of the Kang Dynasty and now it became something completely new, let them work it out. Trust me, it'll be all worth it in the end. Also, too, what do you guys think of because I've heard some rumbles like on social media of that Kevin Feige would be leaving Marvel after Secret Wars, after the next 2 Avengers movies. I'm very curious if that's true. I mean, he didn't make an official statement. Marvel didn't make an official statement. Disney didn't make an official statement. It's just rumors right now, but I'm very curious as to why, or if he wants to kind of leave on a high note. And I'm very curious to see where he would be going. Is he retiring? I'm very curious about that. But yeah, so I'm very curious what you guys think about that. And then also too, what does it mean for Marvel in the parks? Like they'll still obviously put Marvel in the parks, but I wonder if they'll, whoever replaces Feige is like attention to details with that. That's gonna be interesting. Let's see. Jacob Weller says Ewoks are my favorite. Mr. Tech Bear, first time, awesome. Yeah, you'll have a great time. Definitely go and check out Ministry of Magic first, if that's something that if you're into, because that ride there was a one day it like hit 200 minutes. I see my 27th birthday is coming up soon on July 11th. Awesome. Well, that's great. And I actually, July 11th was supposed to be the day that I was trying to get me and Abby into tour Pixar, but you know how D23 is with their ticketing system and those damn queue lines, virtual queue lines. Brian says 3 movies a week is plenty. I think so. I mean, as I said, so far I've been enjoying it. Alan O, what website do you recommend for Disneyland and Walt Disney World achieved photos? For Disneyland and Walt Disney World achieved photos. As far as like other people that are like posting online of photos, there's if that is the case, OG, if you're still in the chat, who's the one that like posts like the real like in-depth photos? Like, I mean, they're like solid, like they're like the professional of the professional. And we got Slime Square in the house. Mr. Slimers be sliming. Why do Italians hate board games? They can't handle the rules. I love that. Let's see. Brian, did you see Jared Bush tease Disney is cooking up some new 2D animation comeback? Absolutely. And I'm so glad you brought that up, Brian, because as far as like with Jared Bush, I think honestly, he is the one that is like really making moves with Disney animation. Nothing against Jennifer Lee. She did her job well, but I feel like, as I said this before, I think on a past live, she's like very good when she's just focused on like one particular project. And the fact that she's doing like a back-to-back with Frozen 3 and Frozen 4, like I'm glad that she's focused on that. And that way, she can just take care of business. That I think with her like micromanaging kind of thing was not like her strong suit. But Jared Bush, man, he's like trying to get back to 2D animation. He's working on the current films right now, coming out with Zootopia 2 and everything. He got his hands in the park projects with the Zootopia show going into the Tree of Life, even though that I don't really know how I feel about that. But nonetheless, I'm glad that he's a hands-on kind of person for sure. Slimer says, someone snapped a photo of Bob Gale at Epic Universe today. Oh, That's awesome. Oh, but Brian, but yeah, the 2D animation, I hope they do. Bring back 2D animation, but still have computer animation. Have both. Best of both worlds. Orange Grove 55. Tour Pixar, that would have been cool. You still got to get up to the Bay Area and check out the Disney Family Museum. It's life-changing. Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely want to see the Walt Disney Family Museum. Definitely. Yeah, I tried so hard I kept the page open as it was like doing the time click down of the time of the hour and the minute. And then it redirected me into the virtual queue where you see the little man moving up the green bar and everything. And there's nothing more you can do is just sit and wait. But the problem is if I was in there waiting longer than somebody else that just happened to pop in, it's like a lottery system where it's like, it's not first come, first serve. So the person that just showed up could have been pushed way ahead of the line and I was pushed way behind. And again, there's nothing you can do about it. And then by the time they redirected me to the D23 ticket page, it said completely sold out. So it's like I had no chance. But I do have high hopes that being that this thing sold out within seconds, that they do this more often to give D23 members more chances to attend these Pixar tours, sort of like how they do at the Disney Studios lot, up in Burbank. So I hope this is the start of something new for all the High School Musical fans, to definitely like give us the opportunity to have a chance to do more of the Pixar tours. Let's see, where are we here? Remy D, is someone getting spanked in the background? No, that's someone's downstairs. I guess they're doing something in the kitchen. But again, as I said, like when I'm live, that's when all the noises come. Someone's getting spanked. Yeah, if I'm running an S&M. No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, let's see. Kevin Davis in the house. Disney needs to stick with sequels and remakes right now because they make money at the box office. People going to wait to see original films on Disney Plus. That's what it seems like it is. And that's the frustrating thing, because people complain and moan and bitch about everything of saying, we want new stuff, we want original stuff. Well, then go out and see it when they release it, And I get it that people are kind of nervous to then spend the money, in theaters, and because it's expensive. I get it. But you can't then complain online if you're not going to go see it. If you're going to wait for Disney Plus, then just wait, Oh, and Orange Grove 55, mysage.com is the site for the pics. Andy Castro. Yes, thank you. Andy Castro is the photographer for his Dateline Disneyland articles. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't remember the guy's name and the website, but thank you, OG. Yeah, that's what it is. Also, Slime Square says, check out Vintage Disneyland on Instagram. Let's see. Still can't believe we're getting 2 more Frozen movies. Looks like when it comes to original movies at Walt Disney Animation Studios, we have to let it go. Sorry, had to do it. Of course, yeah, you can't mention Frozen without mentioning Let It Go. What I just don't understand is like why, after all this time, after 2 movies, after the phenomenon that Frozen has brought us, we only have one single Frozen ride that was a replacement to Maelstrom in Epcot. We have nothing else. All the other Disney parks around the world internationally are getting Frozen lands, and we get one single ride in the Norway Pavilion. I don't get it. Jacob Weller, I watched Dracula Sunday, the original, and don't know why people thought it was scary for the time. I watched Dracula, the original. Here's the thing, like back in those days, it's like, yeah, if in today's time, what we know as scary or horror movies, and we go back in the time, like to the classic, old days, it's like even some of the Hitchcock movies, like they're creepy, they're suspenseful, but they're not like where you're like pissing yourself out of fear. But back in that day, in that time frame, people were, now that doesn't go to say, like, if you have movies like Poltergeist or The Exorcist, like, now those movies are freaking freaky. Let's see. Remy D says, what do you think about an Avengers movie where they find a way to bring back some of the old villains like No Way Home did with Spider-Man? Would you like to get another crack at Ultron? As long as it's tastefully done. I wouldn't say do it with every movie, but like maybe once in a while, maybe do it. I do love how they pay tribute to Ultron in Mission Breakout over at DCA. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind if they brought back Ultron in a certain way, or other Marvel villains. Brian says 2D animation is the best. I do miss 2D animation. I really do. Slime Square says, "What do you rate Elio on a scale of 1 through 10?" I gave it a solid 7. Yeah, definitely check out my out of theater review here on Citrico Central, and I also will be doing another recording of my thoughts for Elio on incorporating the IP into the Disney parks. So definitely look out for that as well. But yeah, Slimer, I gave it a strong 7. I did. It's not like the best, you know, the best Pixar movie like of all time, but it definitely over exceeded my expectations. I do think like there's a lot of laughs, a lot of comedy, but there's also a lot of, heart to it. Definitely there are times where it pulls on your heartstrings, like how Pixar usually does. Let's see. We got Cassandra in the house. Hello, happy Friday. Welcome in, Cassandra. So glad to see you. Let's see. Matthew Murr, major question. Do you think Disney might pioneer a whole new 2D animation system or just carry on using the Toon Boom system used in Princess and the Frog? I'm not sure. Maybe like with it being a new generation of 2D animation, they may come up with something different, or they may just continue the tradition that they already went with. But yeah, I don't, you don't know with Disney. First things first, we got to get the clarification that's like, even though they talked about it and Jared Bush says that he wants to do it, but like once they make an initial announcement, and they say, yep, it's coming back, like then I'll be like taking a deep breath. Also, I wouldn't mind seeing Gigantic come back, whether it's 2D animation or computer animation. It doesn't even have to be the same storyline, but I would love to see that twist on Jack and the Beanstalk with Gigantic for sure. Because technically, if you go back and you watch Zootopia, the scene where I think it was the Weasel had like the bootleg movies, and it was like knockoff Disney movies, but it was in animal form. Gigantic was on there because at the time when they were making Zootopia, Gigantic was in pre-production or in some sort of production. So it's actually in there. So I thought that was very interesting. We got Maybe in the house. Yo, what's up, Maybe? Welcome in. Let's see here, Brian. And I think putting it on streaming first can still build hype. And if it's popular, the sequel can do gangbusters at the box office. Now, movies like the live action Snow White, I feel like should have just been made for Disney Plus. I think Disney ended up losing money by putting it in theaters. Now with Lilo and Stitch, they were just going to put it on streaming. But I'm glad that they put that in theaters because that did do gangbusters. So it's like you kind of have to read the room. You have to know your product, and it's like you have to understand the fact of, what you're making. Some things may be good, but they may not be great for prime time in the theater, and that's okay, because you need content for streaming anyway, and just admit that. Don't like try to build up and say, oh, this is like the greatest thing of all time, It's like, just make it to be what it is, And I can't stand, as I said, don't sugarcoat or Candy Crush that shit. I can't stand that. And Slime Square says, if you're just getting in, welcome. That's what she said. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that. Let's see, Alan O. Do you think they'll expand the performance corridor at DVC before or during the expansion? The area has been bottlenecked area at the park. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. They may do something with it. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of like bottlenecked areas that I feel like Disney needs to kind of take into consideration on like giving some breathing room. And that's what too, kind of going back to even what Universal, if you look at the Universal Kids Park layout and also with the UK park, that's where I love it has like that breathing room of how it transitions from one section to the next. And Slime Square says, Cassandra and maybe sup, ladies. And we have the Giant Peter show. From what is confirmed, Ultron will return in the Vision Quest Disney Plus series. Okay, so he is returning. That's right. I do remember hearing something like that. So let's see. Jacob Weller, do you think Disney doing Power Rangers we might see in the parks again too? We might. Here's the thing. I remember I actually met a few of the Power Rangers at Hollywood Studios at the time that they were. That kind of felt a little bit out of like range for me. If Disney does bring it back into the parks, I hope they do it with a little bit more. I don't know, like certain things. Like I know, again, I said the same thing with Avatar, but again, it's about the execution. So if they can execute it, then I'd be okay with it. And Orange Grove said, "Is that maybe Batty in the house?" Let's see. Sam Chad, do you think Muppet Vision will return to the Disney parks one day? I surely hope so. And I mentioned this before on many different platforms. I personally, I didn't really care too much for the Villains Unfairly Ever After show. I think it's okay. There's certain elements that are really cool, but I would have honestly just put Muppet Vision in there right next to Rock and Roller Coaster because that's going to become the Muppets 2. And then that way you literally will have a Muppet courtyard that is actually like an official courtyard because it's cut off from anything else. You know, it's like its own little mini land. So that's what I would do. And OG's asking, Giant Peter show, is James Spader returning for Ultron? I love him. Yeah, James Spader is like his voice, like, and he's perfect for Ultron because like he has like that very prominent, like domineering kind of like intimidating kind of voice. Let's see, Remy D. Been watching the dark side of YouTube. I keep seeing claims that Disney theme park attendance is plummeting, always with a reference to be epic. Any true to that or just complete hyperbole? So yeah, so for me, I mean, I've been to Walt Disney World, I've been to Disneyland. Now there were some I went to Disneyland on Father's Day. It was not super crowded. It was decent, but it got more crowded later on in the day. I feel like with it being Father's Day, people had their own separate family plans. Down at Walt Disney World, the parks were just, I didn't really see any change in attendance, to be honest with you. There were a couple days even like at Universal that was Epic had less attendance than the Studios park. Now again, that Universal said they had blocked that stuff out, but now it's starting to pick up. But even if a park is on a lower attendance level, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's just, it's a lower attendance day. And I can't stand where these content creators or people just on the regular, social media are saying, oh, it's because of Epic. No, it's just, there are some high days, there are some low days. And it's like, and that's another thing that people kind of complain about all the time. It's like when it's so busy, it's like, oh, I can't do anything. It's bottleneck, shoulder to shoulder. You can't walk. And then when it does calm down, oh, there's not enough people in the park. Disney's doomed. Disney's falling. It's like, why is everything so on a negative base towards you, whether there's people in the park or not? Like, do these people literally wake up every single day and they wake up negative? To me, that's what it seems like. It's like, man, that's like, who's spitting your Cheerios? Let's see. Remy D says, as a follow-up, is the ride wait times a reliable indicator of how the attendance is like? Well, yes and no, because I feel like a lot of times with the wait times, it could be kind of accurate. It never exceeds over. It's usually like spot on, or it's less than what the amount of time is. So sometimes it can be accurate, to what like how the wait times are with the day and stuff. But other times like you can like when we were at Epcot, Abby and I did Ratatouille. It said 60-65 minutes, which we ended up waiting just because Abby's never done Ratatouille. And I thought, we'll just wait. And that was about an accurate time. Now, there are some other rides that said like 45 minutes, and it was only like a 15-20 minute wait. So it just depends. Yeah. Let's see. Alano, Lucasfilm is walking distance from the Walt Disney Museum in San Francisco. On the weekdays, you can walk into the lobby and take photos of some of their memorabilia. Oh, that's cool. I do know, like up at the Walt Disney Studios, like they have a Lucasfilm section, but they keep it completely private. Like you can't enter that section of the building. You can't take pictures. You can kind of like peek into where the hallway is, but that's about it. Let's see. Brian says, I know who you're talking about, Remy D. They are the worst. Bum, bum, bum. The only thing that matters are the park numbers during the earnings calls. Everything else is just anecdotal and doesn't mean much. Absolutely. Yeah. We got Kiki and Luca in the house. Hi, everyone. Welcome in, Kiki and Luca. So glad to see you. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. As love the conversation, guys. Lots of different topic matters. But yeah, again, it's just all in all, like we should just be able to. This is all stuff that we should be having fun with, right? When we were kids growing up, you know, like in our like early years into our teens, we went to these places to escape, to have fun. We looked forward to it. That's what made us the people that we are today. So we could actually go and still enjoy it within ourselves and take our families. Well, I don't really necessarily take my family because it's too expensive. I just save it for myself. But no, just kidding. Hopefully in time, like I'll be able to take my son back to these parks because he definitely misses it. He does love Disney, not as much as like what I do and experience it on my level, but he still enjoys the parks as is. But he also loves Universal because he's in that age frame of the thrill rides and the roller coasters and that kind of stuff. So let's see. Kiki and Luca says, I have been inside Lucasfilm and ILM and Skywalker Ranch. Whoa, man. So you've been the triple threat there, Kiki and Luca. That's awesome. What is that like? I mean, is it like what can you expect to like see and stuff like that? Is it like decked out in like Star Wars and Indiana Jones memorabilia kind of stuff, or is it more just kind of like a Google campus sort of thing? Like, I'm very curious. I know Skywalker Ranch or Skywalker Sound works with Pixar a lot. Also, ILM, like they worked on like so much in the film history. It's like it's crazy. Let's see. OG says, when do you think Disneyland will get a new Tomorrowland? Oh boy. I think honestly, I feel like Tomorrowland is going to end up becoming part of the back end of the 10-year, because again, they had Tomorrowland part of the montage in the very beginning of D23. So they said, actually, they admitted the fact that it was going to end up, being announced, but they pulled it last minute. So I'm for sure, I would think that they would have it on the back end of the 10 years, not the 5 years, the 10 years. If not, then they're just going to wait, just till it's the right time, because as much as we all want it, people still crowd into that part of the park. I say, honestly, they can do whatever they want. Just leave Space Mountain and the Matterhorn. Everything else can go for me. which again, I will touch upon in my video talking about Elio, of where he can kind of reside in Tomorrowland for sure. But yeah, so I think for me, it's going to be the back end of the 10 years. If not, then they're going to probably wait until they have more better intellectual properties, like maybe Fantastic Four and Elio, but some more bulkier things so they can like revamp the land. But that may not come till they start kind of expanding out into the Simba lot, because then that would allow, if they knock out that part of Disneyland, then they can still say, hey, we'll come over to DCA. There's a lot more going on here, you know? Kevin Davis says Universal Pictures will bounce back with Jurassic Park Rebirth and Wicked for Good. How to Train Your Dragon live action will be moderate success. I could definitely see that. Jurassic Park Rebirth and Wicked for Good is definitely going to do bangers for Universal. And honestly, Wicked is going to come into the Universal parks in a big way, because I think they announced not only will Wicked be in the parks, but it will be like in multiple parks. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Kevin Davis continues, Sony Pictures has been struggling for a long time. Hope they make a comeback. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. A lot of these studios are kind of like latching on to one another and kind of like making deals and everything. But when you look at them separately, it's like, you know, oh, it's like, come on, like you're so successful at one point, then how do you like fall off the deep end? Let's see. Kiki and Luca says Lucasfilm has a bunch of memorabilia. It's amazing. And when my son came with a Jedi costume on and the employees greeted him as a master Jedi, Skywalker Ranch has George Lucas art collection inside. That's awesome. And then what about, and he also says Skywalker Ranch has a winery. And then what about ILM? How was that? Because as I said, ILM has worked on so many different films in so many different studios. It's crazy. A winery at Skywalker would be so perfect. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And it kind of fits into that, you know, because Skywalker Ranch, you know, you have like that kind of outdoorsy kind of thing. That's really cool. But yeah, Kiki and Luca, I'm curious. What about as far as like inside of ILM? Because I mean, that's one places I would always want to visit. Like if D23 or something ever did like a tour inside ILM, oh man, I would be so there. I would do my damnedest to get in there just to take a tour, and that would be awesome. But yeah, let me know as far as ILM. Now, do you what do you all think about as far as the time frames with everything? Do you think with, you know, that Josh D'Amaro is keeping up his promise, you know, as far as like with the turbocharging and everything? Do you think it's exceeding your expectations? And also, if it is, do you think that he'd keep his word moving forward if he does become CEO? You know, that's always the big question. He's doing it now because there's a motive, there's a purpose behind it. But when the motive and the purpose is gone, or, you know, he is CEO, you know, what is, you know, does that stay, you know? Let's see. Orange Grove says, once he is CEO, all bets are off, and I do not know. Yeah, see, that's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm very afraid of. Let's see. Demaro's keeping his promise because he has to right now. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what it is. Dragon Blood says to Brian, not only them, I've seen far worse and blocked the crap out of them for their lies. Womp, womp, womp. Dragon Blood says, I hope he keeps his word and to be honest, personally, he is giving us his promise due to the constant fan backlash. Yeah, and I'm very curious to see, because he then would be disrespecting Bob Iger in the sense of that if Iger is choosing him to step forward into that role, then, you know, he's trusting him. So if he's going to be like a wolf in sheep's clothing, that's going to be very interesting to see. Because again, this is going to be Iger's legacy. It was going to be his legacy before, and he ended up getting a second chance of fixing the mistake that he created with putting Chapek in the CEO role, and he can't afford to do that again. So if DeMauro fails him on that, Iger's going to be the one that has put in two, not one, but two in Iger fashion, CEOs that are kind of left to the wayside for the board and the executives to deal with, and he's not coming back, and it would be an epic failure on his part. Brian says, I have to see it to believe it. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. They are moving in the right direction. I can't wait to see the new lands and cruise ships. I completely agree with you 100%. It's like you have to kind of wait and see. Can't just go by hearsay. And I also agree with you. Can't wait to see the new lands, the new cruise ships, the new projects on the horizon. All good. OG agrees with you too. Let's see. Hopefully Josh DeMauro doesn't use Disney Parks expansion money for his hair products. Oh, I'm for sure, Sam. I'm for sure. I mean, I'm definitely, that's probably why they changed a little bit of the Monsters Inc. concept. Had to go for the hair. In all seriousness, though, the Monsters Inc. They changed the concept art, but I think it actually looks better than what it was before, because they had this like weird eyeball statue in the center, like when you walk in. Now they're kind of paying tribute to the Muppets by keeping the water fountain, which obviously wouldn't be Miss Piggy. It would be something of Monsters Inc. Let's see. DeMauro gets Manscaped confirmed. Manscaped. It was actually funny because OG and I talked about this for many years, since the start of me joining Orange Grove 55, was because of my very hairiness, that Manscaped would sponsor, that we would definitely be up for it for sure. Then I'd be going against DeMauro. So Orange Grove 55. I can't talk shit about DeMauro's hair. I just spent $50 on a haircut. Which is actually funny because OG did dress up as DeMauro, or DeMauro-like, when we did Oogie Boogie last year. And I actually think when we met Corella, because we had like a private meet and greet, since we did the VIP tour tied with the party, that I think OG mentioned that to Corella, and I forget her comment, but it was very funny. Like, you guys aren't dressed up, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm dressed up like Josh DeMauro," and she's like made like a comment. I can't remember what it was, but it was funny. But I want to thank everyone for joining this live, and as I said, great conversations, great questions, great thoughts, great opinions. Love when you guys interact with each other. I love when you interact with me. I love the conversations and everything. And we have Chris West really quick in the house. Did they call him Daddy OG? That's funny. But yeah, definitely thank you, everyone. Brian, Chris West, Sam Chat, Orange Grove 55, Dragon Blood. Let's see. Sam Chat, maybe Cassandra, Kiki and Luca. Kiki and Luca, I still would love to know about ILM. So, like, whenever you get the chance, definitely throw it in the comments. Kevin Davis, Alan O, Remy D, Jacob Weller, all the way from the UK, Matthew Murr, Slimer. I want to make sure I get everybody. Now, of course, folks, as I said this before, as my channel grows and I get a lot more people, and unfortunately I won't be able to do this all the time, but while I can, I definitely will. Mr. Tech Bear. Hello, 321. Giant Peter Show. And of course, my Abby, for sure. So again, thank you everyone for joining in. And really quick, got to do my plug-in. I'm an affiliate with the Magic Candle Company. If you are away from the parks and you want to bring that magic of Disney inside your home, go to magiccandlecompany.com. They have a plethora of different items that can make your house more magical, just like the parks, between candles, scents, oils, spray, soaps, anything you can imagine, they have. Upon checkout, use my promo code Citrico15 and you'll get 15% off. And that's not just a one-time deal. That is every time that you place an order, use my promo code and you'll get 15% off every single time. And after you make your purchase, definitely reach out to us on social media, primarily Instagram, on the Disney Italiano, Abby Clavacia, or Citrico Central, and we will send you out a Citrico Central sticker and keychain for the support of using my promo code. So just wanted to throw that out there. And so definitely want to thank everyone again. It definitely means a lot. And as I said, I just love doing these things, these lives with you guys. I'm definitely going to be doing more and a lot more other content. Please definitely like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on Citrico Central. We got walk and talks, bar chats, more lives in studio, at the parks. We're going to be doing a fun little activity live, Where's Abby in the parks. So that's going to be that's always going to be fun. So a lot more coming up on the horizon. But until then, as I always say in Disney Italiano fashion, stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Italiano out.